This video is in no way intended to be insulting to any community. My intention is to show the truth as it pertains to the situation between two communities presently having differences over what is being seen as unfair treatment in America.
So I did not know that in order to own a beauty supply store and get supplies from a distributor, you have to get the permission of other beauty supply stores surrounding your area. I did not know that. And what she was saying was a lady named Matisse was trying to start a black-owned beauty supply store, but she could not get the distributors to give her products because all the Asian beauty supply stores said no.
What's up, family? Back again. And if it's your first time, welcome. Black business is all abuzz right now. There's no more Asian boycott. This has been turned around. From the very beginning, I felt like the terminology we were using was not correct. It was more of a correction within ourselves that needed to be made, not exactly a boycott of anyone else. Just the fact that we could do this ourselves.
They said boycott, be bald-headed. We said, who bald-headed? And what I say about writing checks that your ass can't cash, that been my bounce, ain't it? That been my bounce, ain't it? People today. That's fresh, that's new. And I can't help but wonder if had they not went so brazen and got so nasty in their videos towards us specifically, would we have stood tall on this? Or just went back to regular scheduled programming like we normally do when it's usually these fake outrages. But this time it was a real one. See, you guys turned it into it needed to be a boycott when you expressed how bad you really hated us. When you went online and told us exactly how you felt about us, even though we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars with you guys' business. See, we simply said, hey, you guys, talking to our own, let's just go ahead and come together and open up our own businesses where they actually respect us. And then the other community heard we're boycotting the businesses. That's not what it was. Although there isn't a specific number about how much Koreans actually own in the U.S. when it comes to beauty supply, news reports suggest that it's about 70% in the United States, and that attributes for most of the black hair care market. And see, the beauty care industry is not the only industry that Korea bases its economy on. It is also tech. But here's the thing. Just think about a table with four legs. If one leg is wobbly, the whole table is not stable. And Korea is seeing that happen in live time. See, these are the Korean tech companies that attribute for most of Korea's economy and how they make their money. And you know, tech is usually strong. It's taking over the world. It's innovation, right? But here's the thing that everybody's been talking about, but they're talking about it on lower levels, not necessarily higher levels where you can understand where it might affect big businesses. AI is taking over, sweeping across the world and taking human jobs, but replacing technology as we see it. So again, back to that wobbly leg on the table that I was speaking about. If we have Korea, and the table is Korea's economy, South Korea that is, and let's say beauty supply and hair is one leg, and another leg is the tech. Just because tech is failing is not necessarily going to make the whole table fall because it's on a foundation of three other legs, right? So it's just wobbly. But what happens when the other leg can't compensate? The whole table falls. Now see, Amora Pacific and LG Health and Household is responsible for South Korea's beauty industry economy, okay? See, the South Korean stock market, called the KOSPI, saw one of their largest stock market drops in history. Okay, that was on June 23rd, where it dropped nearly 10%. The one right before that was June 8th, where it dropped 8%. So it just made me go digging a little bit deeper into the dates because analytics works a certain way. Everything has a cause and effect. Mind you, the Chow verdict came in June 1st. So subsequently after June 8th, we see the stock market start to plummet, and then it takes the second largest plummet on June 23rd. That's not by accident. That is by design. And of course, the news is going to blame the rise in AI and it taking over technology for South Korea's stock market plummeting. And they're not going to validate the second half of their economy, and that in the U.S., which they solely base most of their money off of in the beauty industry here, is failing and having issues because of the social and political climate. Of course, they're not going to give black Americans credit for anything, because if they were to publicize that, if they were to put it on the news that this is happening and this is why, it would wake more black Americans up to realize that we have more power in our dollar. We just need to see that. And once we do, and we start intentionally spending our money with black businesses, we're going to see a lot more changes. If this is what we're doing, let's get the numbers right. So South Carolina has attracted over $669 million in capital investment from the Asian communities and companies, which is a key and major driver for the state's economy. So if we're boycotting this, so that money's not coming in, we're boycotting nail techs, food services, hair products, hair care, whatever. I need all my African American business owners to the front. We can replace those companies, those businesses, whatever. Drop your information in the comments so we can find you. You know we will travel. We will come and get our hair done. We will get our nails done. Put your information out there. Don't sleep on this. $669 million. We're trying to get this money out of the Asian community and put it into the African American community. Let's do this.
Now, for the young lady at the beginning of the video, she expressed that in order to open up a hair supply store in your town, you have to have the permission of the hair stores around in your community or in your area. Well, I looked it up, family, and I didn't find anything that said any of that. So I'm not totally in agreement with that. Here's what it does say. I asked, do you need anyone's permission in America to open a beauty supply store? No, you don't need personal, cosmetic, or beauty license to open a beauty supply store in the US. However, you must obtain standard legal and retail permits from government authorities to operate. You will need the following local and state approvals: business operation license, seller's permit, employer identification number, certificate of occupancy. While federal agencies like the U.S. Food and Drug Administration do not license cosmetic retailers, they do strictly regulate product safety and labeling. Additionally, some states require specific facility permits or inspections if you plan to let customers test the product in the store. See, that doesn't sound like you need anybody's permission to do anything. So what that means to me is if there's a location in your area that's open and you can actually rent that spot or lease that spot, it doesn't matter if there's a beauty supply store next to it. It doesn't. You don't need their permission to open up. The second young lady, she went straight to the analytics. So in South Korea, they are having instability in their market. The young lady pointed out, she even gave a four-legged table analogy, which was okay. I vibe with it. And for me, I'm not happy that they are suffering and anything, to do with their economy. I'm not happy about that. I'm just more concerned about my community and what we're going through over here and the fact that we are now waking up and I'm just anxious to spend my money there. But I do have some reservations, family. I can't lie. I can't lie. With all we've seen and all we've experienced in America as a community, how far will we be allowed to go is my question. It's one thing to open up a few businesses, to help your community or to provide services for said community. It's one thing to do that. But when you start talking about moving the needle economically, I'm anxious to also see where the pushback is going to come for that. And as always, family, thanks for watching. If you found this video valuable, please like, subscribe, and share with someone who could benefit from the conversation. And remember, when possible, let's be intentional about supporting Black-owned businesses in our community. Every dollar spent locally can create jobs, build opportunities, and strengthen neighborhoods. Until next time, take care, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.